everybody. So my name is Ben and I work at Care Outdoors as the marketing department. And the more I've done it, the more I realize I'm not really versed in reloading. I know a little bit, but I'm pretty sure there's some other people out there just like me that are interested in reloading but not sure kind of what it entails and the parts and components. So I think Jared's outside in our range processing some brass right now. So let's go bug him and let's go learn some reloading stuff. So you're out here loading, doing stuff. Don't know a whole lot about reloading, so let's go over some parts and pieces and why I should have them or not.
Okay. So we've got a couple different setups here. We've got the single stage press here, which is generally the cheaper and easier way to get into reloading. We've got it set up on the resize and decapping system right now. So as it goes up, it kicks the primer out the bottom and it resizes the brass so it's ready to use for the next time. This is a Winchester model year 10. And so that's the setup there. These are the different die sets you would use. So you would go through your different stages. You got your powder die, you've got your seeding die, and you've got your crimp die. So every time you need to go to the next step, you have to pull this die out, put the next die in, get it set up to go, and then move on. Once the dies are set and you're using the same press, you can generally leave the locker ring close where it's at and move on. The benefits to starting with a single stage, as I said earlier, was cost. It doesn't cost as much to get involved in a single stage as it does into some of the other ones. We don't have the middle being a turret press, which we posted some pictures of earlier. Those are a lot of fun. I started playing with one of those at SHOT Show a little bit. They're kind of a lot of fun in that you have the same press ram that goes up here, but instead your dies are set up in a rotation and you just move it to the next one and move on. So it's kind of a good intermediary between, you know, the single stage and the progressive.
What's the price difference between, like, say, this to a turret and a turret to progressive?
I'm not sure on the turrets. I haven't shopped them much. These you can get a decent single stage press, $80 to $100, all the way up to $300 or $400 for a good one. Progressives start in that $300 to $500 up to $1,000, $2,000, depending on how big you want to go.
What are other tool wells that you should have other than obviously the press, but
so
what other items?
I kind of have some laid out over here. We've got dial calipers, a micrometer, some case lube here. You got your ammo checker, so when it's all loaded, you can drop it in there, and it gives you an idea if it's going to run through your chamber or not. For your single stage stuff, especially when you get into the rifle, you're going to want a reloading block here. Some of the die sets come with reloading blocks on top of them, like this nice Redding set here, or you just have a nice universal set here. I like the ammo boxes for being able to put the loaded stuff in. There's always your oops case, so you've got your kinetic hammer to be able to knock the bullet out in case you did something wrong. Ogive comparators, more stuff gets into more center fire rifle down.
So in our reloading area, we've got two different styles of powder measures. What's kind of the advantages and disadvantages of each?
Okay, yeah, perfect question. So this is just a powder scale. It's just a simple, you know, digital scale, and you have your tray on there. And so this one, a lot of times people will set up what's called a trickler. I don't have one of those, so I kind of make one out of a used case, but you take and dump a powder charge on there to get a good charge going and get you close. And we want to go to say 5.5. So we're going to get up to 4.6 there. And then we're going to take this fired rifle case and we're going to put some powder in it. And then we're just going to slowly rotate the powder out of it until it gets up to 5.5. Or 5.7. So we throw a little bit back. A little bit more. And we try again. And that's why the trickling tool works really well for this type of stuff, because it's a little bit more precise in the way it's built. But there you have 5.5, 5.6-ish.
So that'd be kind of, if you're not patient, the automatic trickler would be maybe something to invest in if you don't want to.
Yeah, and so this one over here we have, it's a automatic system. So you put the powder in there, and then it zeroes itself out, and you just tell it what powder charge you want, and it starts to go. Obviously we don't have any powder in there, so it's not going to fill up, but it just shows the process of how it goes. And then once it's done, it stops, it beeps at you to let you know that it has one done, and then you just take a funnel and fill it into your case. So we're setting up the progressive here to show kind of the difference in how fast these things can go. And so I was setting up the powder, feeding with primers. Takes a little bit more to get it going, but once it's going, you know, every time you pull the handle and you move it up, it kicks out a load of grass. Or you smush one like that. That's always fun when they go in there sideways and they cut the bullet in half. So now we drop this out. We got a bullet stuck down in there. There it goes.
So I guess that's what happens when you don't get it quite in there.
But Dylan makes it easy with their die system they have here. It's just a simple pin, comes out, easy to maneuver. We'll run that one back through and resize it, and then we're back up and running. Simpler to run this than the single stage over here. The single stage is going to be a little bit more precise. It's just going to be a lot more time consuming.
Case lube, do you have recommendations for what you should get, or is it pretty much just kind of personal preference?
Well, obviously I recommend our case lube brass butter because it's easy. You spritz it on in here. You just shake the brass around, give it a couple sprays, let it sit for a few minutes. The evaporative wears off and it just leaves the case lube on there. And so it's very simple and easy to use compared to some of the other stuff that's out there.
Kind of just wanted to get like an introduction of what the parts and pieces were. So maybe next time we have more time, we can go through, and when someone say they wants to have all of the pieces and they got everything together, we can do a run through, kind of show what it looks like to run through a single stage, and then also run through for a progressive, even though that kind of show that. We can maybe do that next time we got more time.
Yeah, definitely. I think setting up something and going through all the different steps and showing all the pieces, you know, from cleaning all the way to loading and shooting and showing what's in there, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, we probably have more time set aside for that, and then we can, you know, go to the range and do some shooting.
Yeah, I like that idea.
See you next time.